Venezuelan fighters ambush U.S. jets. 8 Venezuelan Su-30 fighters ambush 4 U.S. F-A-18 Super Hornets. Russian-built interceptors hiding in radar shadows. Surprise attack at 15,000 feet. Venezuela's best pilots trained in Moscow. America's response turned their ambush into a slaughter. November 15, 2025. 2:34 p.m. Caribbean airspace, 40 miles north of Venezuelan coast. 4 F-A-18E Super Hornets from USS Abraham Lincoln conduct routine combat air patrol. Standard freedom of navigation mission. International airspace. Legal under every treaty. The fighters orbit at 15,000 feet. Fuel sufficient for 3 hours. Weapons loaded. AIM-120 AMRAAM missiles. AIM-9X sidewinders. 20mm cannon with 412 rounds. Radar systems sweeping continuously. Nothing unusual detected. Routine patrol becoming anything but routine. Venezuelan Air Force planned this ambush for 6 weeks. Russian advisors helped design the trap. 8 Su-30 Mk2 Flanker fighters. Twin-engine heavy interceptors. 13-ton beasts armed with R-77 missiles and 30mm cannons. Maximum speed, Mach 2.0. These are not training aircraft, not export downgrades. Full capability fighters purchased from Russia for $50 million each. $400 million in hardware preparing to engage. The pilots trained at Lipetsk Air Base in Russia. 6 months of advanced tactics, air combat maneuvering, beyond visual range engagement. These are Venezuela's elite, their best pilots in their best aircraft. Moscow wants to test American fighter capabilities. Venezuela provides the cannon fodder. The ambush position exploits Caribbean geography perfectly. Venezuelan fighters hide behind mountainous terrain on their coast, flying low, 500 feet above water, below American radar horizon. Ground-based radars in Venezuela track the U.S. fighters continuously. Controllers vector the Su-30s into perfect intercept position. The Venezuelan jets climb rapidly from low altitude, afterburners blazing, accelerating through Mach 1.2. Their radars activate simultaneously at 45 miles range. 8 fighters, 16 R-77 missiles ready to fire, targeting 4 American jets. 2-on-1 advantage, element of surprise. Russian doctrine executed flawlessly, or so they believe. Venezuelan state television broadcasts the operation live. Our heroic pilots engage American aggressors, declares the announcer. Russian technology will prove superior to decadent Western fighters. Moscow RT network picks up the feed. They want the world watching when Venezuelan Su-30s shoot down American Super Hornets. Propaganda value is enormous. Proof that Russian aircraft dominate American equivalents. Validation of weapons exports to anti-American regimes. Demonstration that Moscow's training produces combat-ready forces. The broadcast goes global, millions watching, expecting Venezuelan victory, about to witness complete disaster. But what they didn't know was that E-2D Hawkeye saw everything. USS Abraham Lincoln launched the Hawkeye 3 hours earlier, orbiting at 28,000 feet, 200 miles from the carrier. AN/APY-9 radar provides 360-degree coverage, 300-mile detection range against fighter-sized targets. The radar tracked Venezuelan fighters from the moment they left their air bases, watched them fly low along the coast, monitored their climb to attack altitude, calculated their intercept vectors, transmitted all data to the Super Hornets via secure data link. The American pilots knew about the ambush 90 seconds before Venezuelan radars activated. Surprise advantage eliminated. Tactical initiative reversed. The hunters became the hunted. Lead Super Hornet pilot receives threat warning at 2:36 p.m. His APG-79 AESA radar detects 8 contacts climbing rapidly, 45 miles, closing at 1,200 knots combined speed. RWR receiver detects multiple fire control radars, Venezuelan Su-30s. Weapons hot. Hostile intent confirmed. The pilot doesn't panic, doesn't break formation. He executes practice doctrine. Lincoln, Viper 1. 8 bandits, 4-5 miles, nose hot. Request weapons free. Response comes in 3 seconds. Viper flight, weapons free. Cleared to engage. Authorization granted. 4 Super Hornets against 8 flankers. Americans accept those odds gladly. What's your tactical priority? Type A for beyond visual range missile engagement. Type B for close-in dogfight with superior maneuverability. The 4 Super Hornets split into 2 sections. Viper 1 and 2 climb to 22,000 feet. Viper 3 and 4 descend to 8,000 feet. Vertical separation creates 3-dimensional battle space. Venezuelan fighters must divide attention between altitude layers, cannot concentrate force effectively. Classic American tactics: divide and conquer. The Super Hornets accelerate to Mach 1.3. APG-79 radars lock multiple targets. Each American jet selects 2 Venezuelan fighters. 8 targets. 8 AMRAAM missiles ready. The Venezuelans close to 35 miles. Still outside their R-77 maximum range. Su-30 radar technology lags American systems by 15 years. Detection range, tracking accuracy, multi-target capability. Every metric favors the Super Hornets. At 2:37 p.m., exactly 3 minutes after threat detection, Viper 1 fires first. AIM-120D AMRAAM launches. Solid rocket motor ignites. Acceleration reaches 40 Gs. Missile climbs to 50,000 feet. Mach 4 speed. Active radar seeker activates at 20 miles from target. Terminal homing begins. The Venezuelan pilot receives missile warning. His radar warning receiver screams. Threat display shows incoming missile. 15 miles, 10 miles, 5 miles. He deploys chaff, brakes hard right, pulling 8 Gs. The Su-30 is agile, but the AMRAAM is more agile. Thrust vectoring allows 60 G turns. The missile tracks perfectly. Impact. 40-pound blast fragmentation warhead detonates. Tungsten fragments shred the Su-30's left engine. Hydraulic lines severed. Flight control lost. The Venezuelan fighter spins downward. Pilot ejects at 12,000 feet. First kill. 13 seconds after missile launch. Viper 2 through 4 fire simultaneously. 7 more AMRAAMs streak toward Venezuelan formation. The enemy fighters scatter. Formation cohesion collapses. Pilots break in all directions. Defensive maneuvers. Chaff deployment. Jamming active. But 7 missiles track 7 targets. Venezuelan electronic countermeasures prove ineffective. Russian training emphasized offensive tactics. Defensive survival techniques were neglected. 3 more Su-30s take direct hits. Catastrophic damage. 2 pilots eject. 1 fighter explodes completely. Pilot killed instantly. 4 Venezuelan jets destroyed. 4 remain active. The ambush transformed into desperate survival. The remaining Venezuelan pilots attempt missile launches. R-77 range is 50 miles theoretical, but their targeting radars struggle to maintain lock. American electronic warfare systems jam their frequencies. Chaff creates false targets. The Venezuelan missiles launch anyway. 6 R-77s fire at maximum range. Active radar seekers activate. The missiles hunt for American fighters. Super Hornets deploy countermeasures immediately. Chaff clouds. Flares. Hard defensive turns. The R-77s lack the sophisticated guidance of AMRAAMs. 3 missiles lose lock completely. Fly ballistic until fuel exhaustion. Fall harmlessly into ocean. 3 missiles maintain pursuit. Closing on American fighters. Time to impact, 22 seconds. Viper 3's pilot executes beam maneuver. Flies perpendicular to incoming missile. Maximum Doppler shift. The R-77's radar struggles to maintain track against chaff and maneuver. Lock breaks at 3 miles, missile passes 2,000 feet behind the Super Hornet. Harmless miss. Viper 4 faces 2 missiles simultaneously. More dangerous. He deploys expendables continuously. Chaff cartridges fire every 2 seconds. Creates massive radar clutter. First R-77 loses lock. Veers away. Second missile maintains track. Closing. The pilot breaks down. 9G turn. Afterburners to military power. Accelerates through Mach 1.4. The R-77 cannot match the acceleration. Falls behind. Runs out of energy. Misses by 800 feet. 0 hits. Venezuelan missile attack completely defeated. At 2:39 p.m., 4 minutes into engagement, situation assessment is clear. Venezuelan, 4 fighters destroyed, 4 fighters remaining, 0 hits on American aircraft, 0 tactical advantage, mission failure obvious. American, 4 fighters operational, full weapons remaining, energy advantage, positional advantage, information advantage, total dominance. The Venezuelan survivors face impossible decision: continue fighting and die, or retreat and survive humiliation. Russian advisors never prepared them for this scenario. Their doctrine assumed numerical superiority would prevail. Technology would compensate for training gaps. Neither assumption proved accurate. 2 Venezuelan pilots choose survival. They break east. Afterburners maximum. Running for Venezuelan airspace, 40 miles to safety. The Super Hornets could pursue, could destroy them easily. But rules of engagement prohibit shooting retreating aircraft, not an imminent threat. Let them go. 2 Su-30s escape, damaged pride and shattered confidence their only cargo. 2 Venezuelan pilots choose differently. They close for dogfight. Guns only engagement. Su-30 maneuverability might overcome missile disadvantage. Russian doctrine emphasizes close combat. These pilots commit fully. Heroic, foolish, fatal. Viper 1 engages first Su-30 in turning fight. Both aircraft enter clockwise spiral. Descending, each pilot trying to achieve 6 o'clock position on opponent. The Su-30 has advantage initially. Thrust vectoring nozzles allow tighter turns. But the Venezuelan pilot lacks experience. He pulls too hard, bleeds energy excessively. Airspeed drops to 250 knots, below corner velocity. The Super Hornet maintains optimal speed, 340 knots. Sustained turn rate higher, radius tighter. After 2 complete rotations, Viper 1 achieves firing solution. HUD displays Pipper on target. Gun trigger squeeze. M61 Vulcan cannon roars. 20mm rounds fire at 6,000 per minute. Tracers arc toward the Su-30. Hits along fuselage and wing route. Hydraulic fluid sprays. Right engine catches fire. The Venezuelan fighter rolls inverted. Pilot ejects. Parachute deploys at 8,000 feet. Second dogfight kill. What would you have done as Venezuelan pilot after losing half your squadron? Retreated immediately? Continued fighting? Comment your tactical decision below. Viper 3 engages the final Su-30. This Venezuelan pilot shows more skill. He extends away, gains separation, then reverses hard, trying to force overshoot. Classic energy management. The American pilot recognizes the maneuver. He doesn't follow. Instead, he climbs, gains altitude advantage, converts to speed, dives back onto the Su-30 from above. The Venezuelan pilot sees him coming, brakes left, then right, jinking randomly, denying firing solution. But the Super Hornet pilot is patient. He matches every turn, maintains pursuit curve, closes range methodically. At 1,200 feet separation, he fires AIM-9X Sidewinder. Off-bore sight capability allows lock despite not pointing directly at target. Infrared seeker homes on Su-30 engine heat. Missile accelerates to Mach 2.5. Flight time, 2.4 seconds. Impact on right engine. Warhead detonates. Engine disintegrates. Turbine blades become shrapnel. Shred the fuselage. Pilot ejects immediately. Third dogfight kill. Total engagement time, 7 minutes 18 seconds. Venezuelan fighters lost, 6 destroyed, 2 retreated. Venezuelan pilots killed. 1. Venezuelan pilots captured. 5. American fighters lost. 0. American damage. 0. American missiles expended. 11 AMRAAMs, 1 Sidewinder. Total cost, $14.8 million. Venezuela lost $300 million in aircraft. Russia lost credibility in their fighter exports. Both lost far more than money. Venezuelan state television stops broadcasting immediately. The triumphant announcement transforms into embarrassed silence. Cameras that showed takeoffs don't show wreckage. Government censors scrub social media, delete celebration posts, block foreign news coverage. But the truth spreads globally. 6 Venezuelan fighters destroyed in 7 minutes. 0 American losses. The propaganda disaster eclipses the military disaster. International humiliation complete. Venezuelan Air Force credibility destroyed more thoroughly than their aircraft. Russian reaction comes through official channels. Defense Ministry claims Venezuelan pilots ignored training, made tactical errors, engaged prematurely. The implicit message is clear. Russian technology remains superior. Venezuelan execution was inferior. But international observers know the truth. Su-30 fighters faced Super Hornets. Russian training faced American training. Russian tactics faced American tactics. American systems dominated at every level. Moscow's fighter export market suffers immediately. India reconsiders purchases. Indonesia delays orders. Malaysia requests price reductions. The Venezuela debacle costs Russia billions in future sales. If you're learning from this detailed air combat analysis, take a moment to subscribe so you never miss tactical breakdowns like this. American performance validated decades of investment. A-18E Super Hornet proves its combat effectiveness. APG-79 AESA radar detects and tracks multiple targets beyond enemy engagement range. AIM-120D AMRAAM demonstrates lethality against maneuvering fighters. Electronic warfare systems defeat enemy missiles and disrupt targeting. Pilot training produces calm execution under pressure. Network-centric warfare with E-2D Hawkeye provides unbeatable situational awareness. Every system performed exactly as designed. Every tactic worked exactly as practiced. The tactical lessons resonate throughout military aviation communities. First, surprise is temporary. Advanced sensors detect threats before visual range. E-2D Hawkeye eliminated Venezuelan ambush advantage completely. Second, beyond visual range combat favors superior radar and missiles. American technology provided first shot, first kill capability. Third, electronic warfare decides modern air combat. Jamming degraded Venezuelan missile effectiveness catastrophically. Fourth, training matters more than aircraft performance. Venezuelan pilots in capable aircraft lost to better trained American crews. Fifth, network integration multiplies combat power. Data link between Hawkeye and fighters created shared situational awareness impossible for Venezuelans to counter. Venezuelan Air Force faces existential crisis. 6 of 8 Su-30s destroyed. 20% of their fighter capability eliminated in one engagement. Remaining pilots refuse to fly offensive missions. Morale collapses. Training standards questioned. Leadership removed. The Air Force becomes defensive force only, incapable of projecting power beyond national borders, incapable of threatening American aircraft. Regional air superiority transfers completely to U.S. forces. Colombian Air Force gains relative advantage. Brazilian Air Force dominates. Venezuelan military status declines to irrelevance. Financial implications extend beyond immediate aircraft losses. Venezuela must purchase replacement fighters. Russia offers Su-30s at $50 million each. 6 aircraft equals $300 million. Plus spare parts, plus weapons, plus training. Total cost approaches $400 million. Venezuela's economy cannot afford it. Oil revenues insufficient. International sanctions prevent financing. The Air Force remains permanently weakened. Alternative is accepting inferior aircraft from Iran or North Korea. Neither option restores capability. Venezuela's air power declined permanently because of one disastrous engagement. Chinese analysts study the combat closely. Beijing operates Su-30 variants and domestic copies. J-11 and J-16 fighters use similar technology. The Venezuelan defeat raises uncomfortable questions about Chinese fighters facing American F-35s or F-A-18s. Would the result differ? Chinese pilots train extensively, but so did Venezuelans in Russia. Chinese missiles are modern, but so were R-77s that missed completely. Chinese electronics are advancing, but still lag American systems. The honest assessment suggests similar outcomes. This influences Chinese strategic planning significantly. Perhaps direct air combat with U.S. forces isn't advisable. Perhaps anti-access strategies need reconsideration. Allied nations draw different conclusions. Japan gains confidence in F-35 purchases. South Korea validates F-15 and F-35 acquisition decisions. Australia's Super Hornet fleet proves its value. NATO members observe American air combat dominance. Poland accelerates F-35 procurement. Romania increases F-16 orders. Every Allied Air Force wants the fighters that just destroyed Venezuelan ambush. American defense exports surge. Boeing receives inquiries about Super Hornet sales. Lockheed Martin fields questions about F-35 availability. The combat demonstration drives demand better than any marketing campaign. This level of tactical research requires extensive time and resources. Show your support by subscribing and engaging with our channel community. The human element deserves recognition. 4 American pilots faced 8 aircraft ambush. They didn't panic, didn't retreat. They executed doctrine perfectly. Split formations to create vertical separation, employed weapons at maximum effective range, defeated incoming missiles through electronic warfare and maneuver, achieved total victory without loss or damage. That performance reflects thousands of training hours, simulator time, live flight exercises, adversary training, weapon system familiarity, tactical creativity, mental toughness. Venezuelan pilots were brave. American pilots were better. Training difference proved decisive. Venezuelan military leadership faces criminal investigation. Who authorized offensive engagement with American aircraft? Who planned the ambush? Who approved the operation? Legal authorities demand answers. International law prohibits attacking aircraft in international airspace. This wasn't self-defense. This was premeditated assault. War crime charges are possible. Political leadership blames military commanders. Military commanders blame Russian advisors. Russian advisors deny involvement. The finger-pointing continues while 6 Venezuelan families mourn their dead pilot. 5 captured pilots face uncertain futures. American military detention, potential war crimes, prosecution. Best-case scenario is prisoner exchange after years of imprisonment. The broader strategic picture becomes unmistakable. American air superiority in Western Hemisphere is absolute. No regional power can challenge it. Venezuelan ambush represented best-case scenario for anti-American forces. Numerical advantage, element of surprise, capable aircraft, well-trained pilots, Russian support, everything favoring the attack. Result was complete defeat. If Venezuela, with Su-30s, cannot shoot down Super Hornets, No Latin American country can. American freedom of action in regional airspace is unlimited. That reality shapes every military calculation in the hemisphere. Was this Venezuelan ambush a calculated military operation or reckless provocation orchestrated by Russia to test American capabilities? Share your analysis in the comments below. Which weapon system impressed you most? AIM-120D long-range kills, AIM-9X close combat lethality, or APG-79 radar dominance? Let us know your pick. If you made it this far, you're the engaged viewer this channel depends on. Smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and share this air combat analysis with anyone who appreciates professional military breakdowns. Your engagement determines what we cover next. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay analytical, and remember that air superiority isn't given. It's earned through superior technology, relentless training, and warriors who execute flawlessly under pressure. 8 Venezuelan fighters ambushed 4 American jets. 6 Venezuelan fighters were destroyed. 2 fled in humiliation. 0 American losses. That's not propaganda. That's documented combat results. That's why U.S. air power remains unmatched worldwide. See you in the next tactical breakdown.